Okay. What have we missed? Let's start there where we generally start with you. What's going on in the association? Give us the big talking points.
Lakers are good. Like the
They're
Lakers
good all
are
of a
about
sudden.
to get into the top six out of nowhere. Like I really thought they were done when LeBron got hurt, and they played really well. And he's back, and they look pretty good. I think there's another level for them to get to, but they're knocking on the door of the top six. And I think that that's probably best for a team like Memphis. Like I don't think Memphis really wants to play the Lakers in the first round. I think they need to find a Minnesota, a New Orleans, someone way more broken because the Lakers are just on a roll.
You mentioned this Lakers team getting healthy. Anthony Davis, big game last night against Houston. I want to ask you real quick. I know nobody ever talks about them, but the Timberwolves, what the hell is wrong with this program? They make the big trade in the offseason for Rudy Gobert. They get beat as 20-point favorites yesterday against Portland. I mean, how are you losing to the Blazers? I think they're taking people out of the stands to play on that team.
That would actually improve things. So this is about as Wolves as it gets. Because a couple of weeks ago, it looked like they had figured it out. They're starting to like play some pretty good basketball, and the defense has been solid. Rudy's been really good. Mike Conley's been a calming force. And now you have Rudy Gobert saying, "I didn't want to jump over Anthony Davis when he was on the ground because that was too ruthless. So I passed it out." It's like, since when are you giving people passes when you have the ball in the head? Like, this is insane. Karl-Anthony Towns goes out there and says, "Oh, in practice tomorrow, I'm going to do this. I'm getting things right." And then goes out there and scores like 3 buckets against a Blazers team that is trying to lose games, literally trying to lose games. I'm surprised they're not throwing the ball in the stands every other possession. And this is the Wolves. Like, they just find a way to screw it up and get in their own way every single time. They have 2 of the corniest quotes between Gobert and Towns every single game. Like, it's like they're having a battle to who can say the dumber thing on microphone.
It was the biggest upset in 30 years. The Blazers were down 4 starters. They had lost 11 of their last 12. They were 19.5-point dogs. They went to Minnesota and beat them 107-105. That's why you can't bet on this sport.
This is Minnesota Timberwolves basketball.
It's and Zach, from what I remember, I think he used to write specifically for Minnesota. Deference tonight from the NBA. They'll take a night off and let the kids shine in the national championship game. Let's talk about Andrew Wiggins, who was so good in that run last year for the Warriors. It looks like after 22 straight games attending to the family matter, it looks like Wiggins is going to return, Zach.
Massive for them because they really have been missing him. Like, I know some people may have thought, "Oh, last year was a little fluky," and maybe it was to a certain extent, but his defense is super versatile. He can guard 1 through 4 really, really well. He's become a reliable shooter from the outside. He's a guy that makes mostly smart plays. He's a good rebounder. He's a great offensive rebounder, especially in clutch situations. Like, they've really missed him. They've been trying to fill the gaps, but if they get him back and they get him right, they think that there's enough time to call on that championship medal and call on, the switch being flipped and everything. And I don't think there's enough time for that, but also the West is so wide open and the West has been so in their own way for most of this season. Maybe they do come together, but they need him badly. They need him as much as they needed Klay to come back last season.
I want to go out east real quickly. The Bucks get absolutely destroyed on their home floor by Boston. This is the second time this year they've lost by more than 20 points to the Celtics. Is there anything we need to take away from it, or do you just sit there and chalk it up to 1 game out of 82?
I think it's more the 1 game out of 82, but I think it's a good reminder of when the Bucks were kind of getting shellacked in spectacular ways in the playoffs a couple of years ago before they won the championship. It was because they allowed open 3-point shots. Like, that was part of it. Their defense was, we are going to shut off the paint. You don't get anything at the rim, and we will live with trying to get certain guys to take 3-point shots. And, Fred VanVleet lights them up. Like, a lot of guys were lighting them up in the postseason. Well, this Celtics team is historically good shooting the ball from the outside. Now, the Bucks play a different defense than they used to. It's a little more balanced, but it's a reminder that they can get a little set in their ways defensively. And if they do that, the Celtics are the type of team that could absolutely take them down, because these are the 2 best teams in the league.
Patrick,
Zach Harper.
Sorry,
yeah, please.
I was just saying,
go ahead.
They've given up 404 points in 3 games to the Celtics this year.
Yeah, it really is unbelievable. And you asked Zach before we came on the air, where is he originally from? And he told you Sacktown, so Sacramento. 3rd in the West, Do you believe? Obviously, the offense is electric. Do you believe in this team come postseason time, the Kings?
I think they can win a round, which maybe isn't a bold statement considering they're going to be the 3 seed, or maybe they can get up to the 2 seed in this final week. I think they can win a round. They're going to have a tough matchup. It's either going to be Phoenix or Golden State or the Lakers or the Clippers. And as damaged as those teams have been throughout this season, that's a lot of experience that the Kings just simply don't have. Kevin Huerter and Domantas Sabonis and Harrison Barnes are the 3 biggest veterans when it comes to playoff experience. This team is still extremely bad defensively, like really, really bad defensively. But the offense has been so historic that they've been able to just blow teams out most nights or come back in clutch situations. The thing that the Kings are going to have to figure out is when a defense is gaming for you every single night and they're able to adjust quarter to quarter and game to game, how do you make that adjustment on both ends of the floor? It's something they haven't had to do this season, and it's usually those teams that pop up out of nowhere. That's the biggest test for them, especially someone that doesn't have a lot of playoff experience. Like, I think the Kings can get around, but anything deeper than that, they're already playing with house money. Like, they should be very happy with this and look to build for next season to keep it going.
Zach, I'm going to read you 9 teams and their odds to win the NBA title. Tell me out of these 2 you would potentially select. Bucks 3-1, Celtics 3.5, Suns 5-1, Nuggets 7-1, Warriors 8-1, Sixers 9-1, Grizzlies 12, Lakers 18, and Clippers 20.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with the Suns, just because look, I have a lot of time together. Kevin Durant's always hurt, but this team is going to have a ton of firepower. I think they have a deep enough rotation. Like, I'll take the Suns at those odds. And then they're the favorites, I guess. So maybe this isn't great. I still believe in Milwaukee. Giannis is the best player in the world. Yep. They have an extremely deep team. They're healthy. Like, they've great on both ends of the floor. Drew Holiday's had a career year. Brook Lopez has been phenomenal. Like, this Bucks team is unbelievable. I know they just got destroyed by the Celtics, like we talked about, but they're the team I trust the most.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.